All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 385 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller, and today we're going to talk some more Georgia Southern talk. Um, it's just getting closer and closer to the football season, and I'm mostly specialized talking about football over here, and it's just getting more exciting and more exciting by the day because of what has transpired in the Sunbelt and so many teams that are coming in. A lot of competition is coming in when it comes to just the entire aspect of sports athletics or athletics in the Sun Belt. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about our AD here at Georgia Southern. Jared Benko said something that's really not as off as you would think after I talk about it, because not too many people said much about it, but when you think about it, it may be true or probably better than that other conference in the South. But we'll talk about that shortly. If this is your first time here, welcome. Welcome. This is the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here we talk about Georgia Southern Atlanta Falcons football. Atlanta Falcons just coming along shortly, but surely they just signed another defensive tackle over there. Just continuously to beef up that defense for the Atlanta Falcons. And it looks like they're pretty much going in the right direction. I don't want to get into that too much today because I feel like this right here is more prominent right now. Don't get me wrong. It's nothing wrong with beefing up the defense on for the Falcons. They need all the help they can get to turn around their franchise. So it's really good to see. But it's another it's another Chicago Bear that was signed. So that's kind of, you already know how I feel about that. Nevertheless, let's go ahead and get into this. Jared Benko has been doing a very good job as the AD at Georgia Southern. Ever since he touched down here, he has made changes. He moved people around, got things done, and he basically, I don't think he is, and I know he won't take credit for this, but he, in some cases, it feels like he single-handedly created a winning culture in all aspects of athletics at Georgia Southern. Now, like I said, I know he's not going to take credit for that, but once he came in, it just started to feel like all the athletic department, all the athletic branches would, had a will and have strive to win. I mean, even when it comes to the cheerleaders, the golf, tennis, softball, baseball, and in some cases football, basketball as well as women's basketball, men's basketball. It's just like we have turned things around to look like we're going to be competing at every level in every sport. And Jared Benko has been doing a really good job. Is not only, and I know, like I said, I don't want to keep saying it over and over again, but I know he's not going to take sole credit for this. But it seems like he's been putting things in place to make that happen. The coach hirings, the other people that are under coaches, putting people in place, making things happen as far as funding, and just his own presence and the way that he put his face forward to let people know, like, hey, I'm here in Statesboro and I'm going to help create a winning culture by putting myself out there and making a presence known that I'm not only just an athletic director. I'm here supporting. I'm putting in work. I mean, I've seen him have pictures of him actually doing physical work for the baseball program. It's really cool to see somebody having a presence out there to let you know that, look, I'm not just a guy behind the scenes just pulling strings and making things happen. I'm involved in this. I'm trying to put in the work to make sure that Georgia Southern has a high level of prestige when it comes to athletics. And it's really refreshing to see, especially after the last AD. And I don't want to compare the two, but the last AD that was here and all the things that happened in that situation. And it's good to see a turnaround with the way that's going. And for Jared Benko, is another thing that he's done is put the steps in place to get the indoor practice facility. And I know a lot of people want to say stuff about that, but look, hey, that indoor practice facility is better than what we have, and it's going to work out just fine. Trust and believe. It's going to work out great. And it seems like it's already doing things for recruiting. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not only we already recruited not only that, Jared Benko hired a really good coach, and the coaching staff, it seems like it's also a trickle down effect when you say, hey, not only got this, we got an indoor practice facility that we're opening up, so you guys going to be able to practice at any and every time. So it's something to be something to be proud of at the end of the day, regardless of what you know what's going on and how other people in the conference or outside of the conference feel. Hey, we got something nice going here, and it's really cool and it's really awesome to see. Um, I want to get into the comment that was made by Jared Benko, and I didn't want to make that comment all about this episode, but I just wanted to give you some context and some background on who our athletic director is, because I mean, don't let it fool you. The comment that he made is will raise eyebrows, but he has put things in place for Georgia Southern to compete at a level within a conference that is going to be very competitive. You see the Marshalls, the James Madison, the Old Dominions, Appalachian State, Coastal Carolina, and Georgia State. Even if you see Louisiana, you see all these other, and all those teams outside of Louisiana. I mentioned was the Sunbelt East, and every team in the Sunbelt East, even Georgia State. I don't know if I said that as well, but if you look at all those teams in the Sunbelt East, those guys have a legit chance, especially in football, to take the East every single year. Every single year, you have teams that are coming in from the FCS to the FBS. It's going to be competing right away. You're going to have guys that are coming into this conference that's going to be wrecking shop right out the gate. Now, will they, could they shock a lot of people? Absolutely. But is it going to happen? I'm not really sure about that. You give it a year or two, Old Dominion and James Madison is going to be a problem. Marshall's already established. But I digress. Jared Benko actually said that, the SEC, not the SEC, but the Sunbelt East is like the SEC West. I'm going to give you some analysis on that. I'm gonna let you hear his comment, what he said, and what I think about that. And what he said and why he thinks that way. And I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna give you my opinion about it. So let me put my headset on real quick, and let's go ahead and let's see, where is it? Let's go ahead and roll it. This was at the College Sports Connect or College Sports Associates. CS Connect 1 is the Twitter handle, CS_Connect 1, where this clip was taken. Shout out to those guys. I'll put the link down in the description so you can look at it for yourself. It's only 46 seconds, but it's a lot of information here, and it's really good. So let's go ahead and listen to it, and we'll go from there.
I was talking to Commissioner Gill.
Oh, one more thing. The audio is probably like one-sided on the headset. For some reason, it's the way it was recorded. So I think it's, I think Jared Benko's on the left side and the other person talking is on the right ear. So it's like, it's not one whole audio clip throughout the speakers. Sorry about that. All right, let's go ahead and listen to it.
I was talking to Commissioner Gill a couple weeks ago, and I said, the East now, if you think about the East of the Sunbelt, it's kind of like the SEC West.
Yeah.
I said we're the new SEC West just because, but the profiles of all the sports. And so that's where, I'll give you a great example. You're talking about baseball. So we were one of 16 national seeds. Well, so was Southern Miss. When you think about the profile and the history of their program, and you look at, the Sunbelt would have, you fast forward a year, 2 top 16 national seeds in baseball. But I think if you lay that over with softball and you look at all the other sports and golf and whatnot, I mean, it's becoming a juggernaut. And that's what's so exciting looking down the road is, the commitment to athletics, the understanding from the presidents and their group of how that can help enrollment growth and others. I mean, it's just an exciting time.
See, and I don't disagree with any of that. I don't disagree with any of that. And the reason why I say that, because you look at everybody that is in the Sunbelt East. And we just talked about this. You look at the Appalachian states, you look at Marshall, James Madison, Old Dominion, Georgia State, Coastal Carolina, and us. It's not that far off when you think about how high of level competition this is. Now, the level of and I'm strictly just gonna talk about football, because he made a great point about the golf and softball and baseball, especially baseball. I mean, our baseball program, just in Georgia Southern alone, is beating up on teams in the SEC. We did a pretty good job this year, competing at a high level with our baseball program. So, that's another story for another day. Shout out to the baseball team hosting a regional. That was pretty awesome. But when you look at the football, now I'm just gonna talk about football right now because I mean all the other stuff, I specialize in football, but when I talk about football, but when you look at the football aspect of the Sunbelt East and you look at the SEC West, let's be honest here. Let's not kid ourselves. Everybody in the SEC, I mean everybody in the Sunbelt East, maybe for the first year anyway, maybe outside of James Madison, Old Dominion, and they could shock some people. Everybody else outside of those two are probably competing for the East title. You look at the SEC West, you got Alabama and maybe LSU. Maybe, I mean, any other team y'all want to mention? Ole Miss, maybe. Arkansas, maybe. And Arkansas had a pretty good year until they got, after they lost to Georgia, they wasn't the same. I'm trying to think who else is in the SEC. I mean, Mississippi State. I'm trying to look at the level of competition there where every team has a shot of getting the SEC West title. And I don't even think LSU is really that team anymore because, man, after Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and all of them left, I mean, you talk about a fall off. Alabama is going to be Alabama. I mean, long as Nick Saban there, I mean, they're going to be fine. I mean, the way they have things loaded there is just phenomenal. I forgot to mention Texas A&M. Texas A&M is not a pushover. They look pretty good. So you're looking at maybe three teams. You're looking at Alabama, Texas A&M, and maybe LSU. Now I just mentioned all 7 teams that are in the Sun Belt, East. All 7 teams, especially after James Madison and Old Dominion get their feet wet in the conference, they're going to be prominent to know that there's going to be not only just take the Sun Belt East, they're probably going to be taking the Sun Belt title every year. Outside of Louisiana, the West probably don't have a chance in football. And I'm being honest right there. Outside of Louisiana, they may not have a chance. Now, out of all the other sports, I mean, Southern Miss has a pretty good baseball program. Texas State actually has a pretty good baseball program. I'm still laughing about Texas State because when we beat Texas State, when they were number 10 in the country, they started blocking so many people on their Twitter feed. I wonder if I'm still blocked on there. They're sore losers. I mean, my God. But I can't speak too much of basketball. I mean, when you look at basketball, Georgia State, Appalachian State actually did pretty good for themselves too. James Madison basketball program, they have our former coach, and James Madison looks really good in basketball as well. I mean, and let's not even talk about this. Southern Miss has a pretty good baseball program. Coastal Carolina won the College World Series not too long ago. I mean, let's not be funny here. Coastal Carolina won. We're talking about us as a baseball program hosting a regional. Coastal Carolina won the the College World Series a few years ago. I can't remember what year. It had to be no more than 5-10 years ago, something like that. I can't remember. But come on now. Georgia State making it into the basketball NCAA tournament. Almost consistently. James Madison, we already talked about, how good they are in the FCS football program. I mean, we haven't talked about it, but they're a FCS juggernaut coming to the FBS, but their basketball program is another one. I think they just beat number 1 Virginia not too long ago. Marshall's always had a pretty good program as far as their football program goes. The Old Dominion's no slouch. I mean, it's just a lot of things about Old Dominion that I haven't been following. I want to apologize about that. But when you talk about Appalachian State, our main rival, what else can you say about that? I mean, football, and I just can't wait. We need to get back on point where we be competing with them back and forth at a high level again. I mean, I love playing against them, beating them at the Rock, coming back down here. They're trying to beat us at Paulson, and it's going back and forth. That rivalry is probably the best rivalry that you probably never heard of. I mean, it's a great rivalry between the two. Georgia State, and I give Georgia State hell, but I'm getting to the point now. I'm gonna stop doing this. Georgia State, because it gets old after a while. Don't get me wrong, I love going against them with a rival situation, and because it's in state and all this other stuff. Georgia State feeling themselves a little bit. They got a two football series lead on us, and they feeling themselves, and every right they have to, because we haven't been taking them serious. But I think with what we have now, I think we're going to have a chance to start really with the coaching staff we have. We're not going to be playing with them anymore. We're actually going to, take them serious. We should take them just as serious as we take the Appalachian State situation seriously. And that's one of the main problems why things haven't been going well against them. I mean, it's 5-3, but they wear that on their sleeves heavily. It's a big deal to them. They don't want to talk about the baseball series, but the football series is a big deal to them. And Georgia Southern, who prides on football, we need to start taking it just as serious. But we'll see how that goes. But when you look at this entire landscape of the SEC, I keep going back and forth between them two. You look at the landscape of the Sunbelt East. I'm going to sit here and say this before I get out of here. I feel like the level of competition is better than the SEC West. The SEC West is a juggernaut because of one, maybe two teams. The Sun Belt East is a juggernaut almost because of all 7 teams that are in this division. Like I said, I give Georgia State hell, but I do respect the fact of how they created a pretty decent football program for themselves. They almost beat Auburn last year. I think it was last year. They went up to Tennessee and beat Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? Appalachian State is always giving Power 5 teams hell. Coastal Carolina beating up on Power 5 teams. Yeah, albeit as being Kansas, but they're a Power 5 team. Old Dominion and James Madison is going to be a problem. So we're going to have to be on point as far as us doing what we need to do at Georgia Southern to shock the world and beat up on some teams ourselves. Marshall, what else can you say about Marshall? Marshall's always been very consistent and very good. Georgia Southern, we are in a transition after a 3-9 season, but I think the transition that we've made, we're going to be a lot better than people advertise. I really believe that. We made a lot of changes. I don't think we're going to be 3-9. I think I saw somewhere on Twitter that somebody said we're going to be, the over-under is 4 or 4.5 or 5.5. I'm taking the over. I'm already on record saying we're going to win 8 games. And I'm sticking with that. Sunbelt West, step your game up. Just step your game up, especially in football. Just step your game up. Troy is always pretty good. South Alabama's pretty good. Arkansas State, ULM, Louisiana's always on point. Texas State, I think Texas State has a really good chance to be good because of the state that they're in. They just need to pull some players from that state. If they do that, they could be a problem. I actually like Texas State. I don't know, just something about that team I'm kind of fond of. So Southern Miss, we'll see what they do. To me, they look like Appalachian State that are, using our logo. So I don't like them already, but nevertheless, I want to get up out of here because I can ramble more and more about this. Let me know what you guys think about our athletic director and his comments about the SEC East. I can't do it right. I can't. The Sunbelt East is like the SEC West. Is that something that is kind of weird? Is it something that just doesn't fit right? I mean, what does it? What is it? I don't know. I think he's on point. If not, I think the conference is better. I mean, the division is better because the SEC West has maybe 1.5 teams that are holding that division together, where us, every team on this is just high level competition. And like AD Benko said, it's not just in football. You're looking at golf, you're looking at baseball, you're looking at basketball. Hell, what is it? Volleyball, women's tennis, women's softball, the level of competition all around on, the Sunbelt East is words can't even explain. It's ridiculous. But I'm going to get out of here. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I am on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. And today we talked about this pretty, prominent and really, not too far-fetched comment on Jared Benko. About by Jared Benko. Hopefully you guys will enjoy the rest of your Thursday. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys for all the support. Give me a 5-star rating. Hit the like button. Let people know what I'm doing over here. And I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy. Y'all be blessed. Peace.